So welcome to today's podcast on your Crystal Beam podcast. We keep asking you to, subscribe, like, share, comment, so we can keep updating you. But today we are bringing something a bit different from what we've been doing. We want to look at the trending stories from last week. We saw the launch of IBB's book, his memoir, where he talked about his journey in service. That occasion was a gathering of who is who, former this, former that, even the present governors, the president, members of his cabinet, and all that. They were all part of it, And people were like, what's he going to say? Of course, everybody has been waiting to hear from him about the June 12th issue, the Delegiwa murder, so many things. But the man blew our mind because there were other things he said that some of us probably hadn't heard of. And then those who were too young to have known about the June 12th annulment, of course, it afforded them the opportunity to also hear his own side of the story, being a major player. Now, but you see, after that event, some persons, of course, went on air castigating him, saying why should he should be tried, he should be prosecuted, and all that. But the question is not even about that. It's about somebody speaking truth to power even while he's still alive. I don't know whether the laws will permit him to be prosecuted or tried for acts committed during a military. I think it's only a court-martial that tries military officers. Well, the truth is that even Tinubu, who was fighting him then under Nadeko, and then of course AD later on, was also there. And like the book reviewer, former Vice President Osibanjo said, those who were on the other side against him are now here today with him, maybe to hear him or maybe to celebrate. Some persons say they shouldn't have been there, the likes of P2B and all that. Well, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. The important thing is that the man has been able to reveal some of the things that we never got to know, whether they are right or wrong, I don't know. But there's something that bothers me about these memoirs that people write. Sometimes, it's not easy to find out if they are saying the whole truth. I know one thing. The Bible says, well, the truth is the only thing that can set you free. But even in the secular world, it is true that the truth sometimes hurts. And that's why you see this, sometimes you have this abridged information, the stories they don't want to say, the things the way they were, the way they happen, because if they do, it could raise a lot of doubts. But, well, I'm going to still touch on something that I feel is my own wahala. I don't know about others, so everybody has their own. Femi Falana said he's going to court, his rights, human rights were violated. Some persons say, oh, they will do this and all that. But the good thing is that even the Abiola family, I think they've also taken it to faith, that this is what befell their father. And whether you like it or not, the man has been honored. And even in that unfortunate incident there, he died without even being able to live up to the mandate that the people gave him in an election that was adjudged the fairest and the freest. Well, unfortunately, the man who had the right, the power to decide whether that election was free and fair and whether Abiola won was none other than Professor Humphrey Mosu. He was the man in charge of NEC then. So, if Humphrey Mosu didn't write a book, if he didn't speak to Nigerians, to the world, to say this was what happened, well, I don't know what anybody can say. Babangida has done his own bit. That's his own side of the story. Maybe someday we will still get to find out. Like he said, on the issue of Delegiwa, someday Nigerians may get to find the truth. And somebody now also said, someday Nigerians may also find out who actually won the elections in the last general elections. Well, whatever it is, the important thing is that we learn from the experience of others and also from the mistakes of others. Whether Babangida did well or he didn't do well, the important thing is that those after him, those coming after him, should also learn not to, even in a civilian setting, not to even use the courts to truncate democracy. not to use it to muzzle other people and then come back full of regrets. But whatever it is, I think it was a money rain that day, and it's only somebody like Babangida who could have commanded that kind of huge crowd, huge support, and huge respect. Well, it doesn't matter who says it's a charade. Somebody said it can't be a presidential library because he was a head of state, he was not a president. Well, whatever you call it, the important thing is that the library will be there, and for people generations unborn to probably go there, research and read to know. If to say we even get that kind of library for Igbo land, maybe Fojuku had established one, or some of the people who were part of, that struggle. Maybe by now, some of the people who are agitating for Biafra and all that would have had a second thought, or they would have taken it from where these people stopped, and then wouldn't have probably been in this kind of mess we are in today. So information is key. It's important when people have done their part in service, in governance, and they tell the story for other people to learn from. So I think for me, it's a good one. Let the library come up, and then some of us will also have the opportunity to probably go there and then find out. So that's for the IBB book launch. Now, there's another one though that is trending. I think that it's been since last week or so. The National Assembly, again, Senator Godswill Akpabio, the distinguished Senate President, versus Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, representing Kogi. I think that's Kogi West senatorial zone also. Well, we all know Natasha even before now, so it's not a name you say, you dismiss and say you don't know, except you've not been following events in the polity. Well, what happened? Something happened at plenary where Natasha had to raise her voice, insisting that her rights were also being trampled on, that she should be allowed to speak. And then she was reading from the rule book even after the Senate president, who is the big brother of the Senate, had ruled her out of order. But she insisted. Well, I don't know what the rules say, but some persons say she was right, some say she was wrong, but that's not even part of what I'm going to talk about. You see, sometimes we have issues with people that we've been friends with, people we've been close to, and all that. I'm aware that Natasha, her husband, is a close, maybe associate, let me not say friend, to distinguished Senator Godswill Akpabio. I'm aware. I've worked closely with Akpabio, so I know when we were doing the NDDC, the forensic audit and all that, we kept seeing that Uduaghan name in some of the documents, and we thought it was the governor. It was later on we were told, no, it's not the governor, a relative of his. And so later on, I think he now married Natasha. And I remember that when Natasha, either when they had their marriage or child dedication or something, I remember Senator Godswill Akpabio was there. So they've had that relationship. There's this bonding between Akpabio and her husband. And so many people think that, this whole drama shouldn't be. There are things that they could do off camera. There are things that there could be intervention even from the from home, on both sides. Of course, Akpabio has a wife. She's a strong woman. She understands these things. And of course, being that Natasha is a fellow woman, and then I know that they have this, I think, lawmakers wives association with Akpabio's wife. He is the president. So that means some of these things could be resolved, woman to woman and all that, and then save Nigerians from this wahala every day. People are hungry. People, the economy is biting hard. We are hoping that, the reforms that President Tinubu is embarking on will yield results so that life could be a little bit better. Not for us to be bothered about, unnecessary quarrel between people who were once best of friends. Well, I don't want to go too much into this because I remember the last time that a similar thing also happened at the National Assembly between Akpabio when he was a minister in charge of Niger Delta Affairs, and then my friend and sister Joy Nune, who was the acting MD of NDDC then. We also had this, and I was kind of caught up in between because I was providing consultancy services for Senator Akpabio then, and then Joy, of course, was like we had common friends. I won't say she's my friend, but we had common friends, so we related. I could go to her house and all that. So it was really difficult for me. Even on the set of Arise, Ruben Abati tried to, make me speak on the crisis between them. And of course, anytime there's any problem between a man and a woman, if the issue of sexual abuse or sexual advances doesn't come up, then let that man go and thank his God. But again, I think it's still becoming very embarrassing, the way we go about some of these things. The way I was brought up, and most of us, as Nigerian women, African young girls growing up, there are some things we don't speak. But people say if you don't say it, you've lost your voice. You've lost your voice. Sometimes you need to speak up for other people to learn. But again, it's her word against his, and I do not think that it's very, it's something palatable for us to be hearing. Today I didn't watch the program, but somebody drew my attention to it, where Natasha was making very strong allegations. Well, I worked closely with Akpabio then. I didn't see any of such. I was not also harassed, even though the relationship is not how it was before, the working relationship we had, because we also had our own differences that bordered on nothing but maybe how he wanted us to continue working, and what we also expected from him. I didn't have any time to, because we used to go there late hours, sometimes even the lockdown, 4 a.m. We were leaving his home, with his wife and everybody there. We're leaving by 4 a.m., going back home and all that. I never experienced, I never saw that. Well, whatever it is, I think that we do not need to desecrate the National Assembly with all that. Natasha has gone ahead to sue the Senate President and one of his aides. I think Mon Patrick informed, they alleged, posted some things, uncomplimentary remarks against her. And for crying out loud, who would even do that? Even if I'm an aide to any politician, you hire me as your media consultant, there are things if you ask me to do, I'll tell you, no, let's not go that route. Let's not go there. It's not everything I hear from whoever that has engaged me for media services, I'll go and put out. You'd have to understand that there are, boundaries, so that you don't, create unnecessary crisis for the man you are working for, thinking that you want to show strength. Even if you heard it from the man as a side comment, it's not something that you put out. So, well, I believe that issue will be resolved. Maybe the president will get involved, or the president's wife, and then some of their friends, except if there's something else they are fighting about, which we do not know. Maybe in a couple of weeks, some of those things will be made known. So that's it for the National Assembly, for Senator Akpabio and Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. I'm also going to talk about something. Alex Oti. That man, governor of Abia State. Me, I'm from Abia originally. And I know what it's been in terms of development. In fact, we have been mocked. I've traveled as far as even Poland. Let me not talk of America or UK or Canada, anywhere. Even Poland, those kind of places where you don't even think that people know the states in Nigeria. And somebody asked me, where are you from? Nigeria, yes? Where? And I mentioned Abia State. The next thing you hear, that dirty state. Oh, never to do well state. Oh, that one. Our leaders were always being mocked, castigated, and all that. Well, I didn't need anybody to tell me. I didn't need a prophet to tell me, because I go home regularly, and I know what it was. Even the roads, the state of infrastructure, which one you won't talk. At a point, me, myself, I had to fix a road in my community. The road is still there. It's still there, standing. Go and see, with drainage. And I said, if I could do this, even without a political office, Then what about the people who we elected to do these things, who have, taxpayers money, federal allocation, IGR coming, and they can do these things? But well, I think that things are taking a new shape in Abia State. But it is not easy for the man that was, let me use the word, unanimously elected to be governor. Alex Oti's election under Labour Party, he's the only governor under Labour Party, in spite of all the obedience and all the noise and all that. He was the only one that won his election, and he's the only governor that Labour Party has. Yeah, so the transformation going on in Abia State in terms of infrastructure is something that people, even the blind, they see them. People, they talk. Except you've not been there. Even if you've not been there, go online, you will see things. Me, I saw it even last Christmas when I went home. The roads. This is a road that used to take us 25 minutes from Umaya to my village. At some point, it was 2 hours. Became a death trap, kidnap, spot for criminals and all that. 2 hours, you're still on the road, bad road. But by Christmas, by the time I traveled, I saw something that could just close your eyes and drive through. And of course, that's not just for me. Very many other communities going on. Yeah, but of course, there's no perfect system anywhere. The governor can't be perfect. You don't expect that there won't be voices of this. But it's very disgusting when you see people who served in previous governments that brought that shame to the state now gathering, like where vultures gather over a dead carcass, trying to bring down the government, quoting figures that are not verifiable. Honestly speaking, I don't even understand I don't even know how to describe it. But we definitely do something, because I think that a trip to Abia State with my crew will help us to check, to verify, and play side by side. We're not going to see the governor or any government official. We're not even going to talk to them. We just get into the state, get the list of some of those roads we used to know, and then see what has happened, check the schools, the hospitals, and all that. Vis-a-vis. And then somebody will say, oh, they are getting more money now. Even the president said it, that governors are getting more money now. But of course, the question is, what is the value of Naira now compared to then? 400 billion today is like 40 billion yesteryears. So sometimes it's not really about getting more. And again, some get more and they have nothing to show. So for me, I have decided, even without too much talk, to crown Governor Alex Oti, the Nehemiah of Abia State. Those who know the story of Nehemiah in the Bible should understand what I'm saying. When his friends, Sanballat and Tobias, tried to discourage him from rebuilding the broken down walls of Jerusalem, he didn't listen to them. He ignored them. Rather, he positioned his workmen, those who needed to carry arms to wait for in case of any possible attack. They carried, and as they were working night, day, until they completed. And by the time they completed, Nehemiah didn't go back to serve the king again. He became the governor of his people. So I believe that that's going to happen again if Alex Oti continues on what he's doing, irrespective of the party he belongs to tomorrow. It's a walkover. So let's leave that side. Let's talk about something that that has actually bothered me. This book, Babangida's book, I think it's My Journey in Service or something like that. There were some revelations he made. I've not read the book. I've actually placed my own order, but I've seen excerpts online and all that. And he made it very clear that the coup, the 1966 coup, was not an Igbo coup. It was not a coup staged by Igbos. In fact, he mentioned names of those who were part of that. The Nzogu, Kaduna, Major Chukwuma Kaduna Nzogu, that people refer to as the one who staged that coup. Very many people know he was Delta Igbo and all that, but he was born in Kaduna and raised in Kaduna, so he was more of the north. That is the truth of the matter. But there's something and information I have on that matter, which I'm not going to discuss today because of time. I'll deal with it because there's a man I met some couple of years back who apparently was part of the meeting a night before that coup. And he told us the story of their involvement and what happened, and mentioned some names. Incidentally, a very powerful Nigerian too, from the southwest, joined them in that meeting. Unfortunately, the man thought that Nzogu and the rest of them had died and he was the only one that survived. And he wrote a book, his own memoir, and mentioned that he didn't know that there was a plot, that he only woke up the next day to hear that there was a coup. And this man who was talking to us started weeping, shedding tears. He said, is that the way people can lie, even in black and white? You know, somebody that was part of the whole plot now suddenly denying because he thought everybody had died. Then something happened the day the man met them. Let me not mention the location because that will give out who the person is, you know. And he came in the company of some persons, retired Ebitukiwe, Matthew Mbu of blessed memory, and some others. And when this man saw him, the man was shocked because he never knew he survived that incident. He thought he was incarcerated, but later released and granted amnesty or something like that. And this man, this powerful Nigerian from the Southwest, never knew that he made it alive. So he was like, oh, so this man probably would have seen my book and known that I told lies. Well, that one, we'll talk about that one. So the question I'm asking is this: what is there for the Igbos? Even the people who are fighting, oh, we need Biafra, we need Igbo state, we need this and all that. Some of them didn't have this information. Thank God for Babangida, because we are talking about a record of about over 3 million Igbos who were massacred. Then when I say Igbos, I'm not talking of the ones that people refer to Igbos, the 5 southeast states also. I'm talking about people from the old eastern region. And that has not ended. Because even till today, they are still marginalized in government, in power sharing, in appointments, and very many areas. They are still like second-class citizens because the people from the other side probably don't want to deal with them. But here, Babangida has said it. The plan was to make Awolowo the prime minister then. He was not an Igbo. So I think that it's about time for this whole thing, harassment, marginalization, and, you know, treating the Igbos as, you know, people who did what shouldn't have been done. I think it's about time we ended it in this country, and let's live as one. Like I said, the book is not for us to go and wake up new frontiers of enmity and all that, but for us to forge ahead and then also end some of the mistakes. Well, the last thing I want to talk about is NDDC. 25 years of NDDC, Niger Delta Development Commission. They're about to celebrate 25 years. It's not easy. The journey has not been easy. Everyone knows we're going to be dealing with that maybe in our next episode. But I want to say I want to borrow the word, the ultimate search. I think this is going to be the legacy search. NDDC, they've done what they think they can do, but I think after now, we should be seeing legacy projects, more of that, and not the piecemeal projects that we see here and there. We should be able to see 6-lane roads. If Abia State can do it, River State did it. I mean, and some other states, even in the north. So why can't we even see NDDC do that with the kind of budget they have? So we're going to be looking at the journey so far, and then also whether this current board has been able to change the way things are, you know, done. They are formally, to get your payment in NDDC, you need about 26 signatories going back and forth, going back and forth, going back and forth before you're paid. In some cases, only those who are ready to play ball are paid. But I understand that with this new management, it's been something, you know, to reckon with. Things have really improved, and we don't know. We'll do our own ultimate search or the legacy search and find out if they have done well. So, well, don't forget that we also have other regional agencies that have come up, created by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We have the Southeast Development Commission, Northwest, this and all that. We believe that if these commissions and these agencies are well funded and the people there are sincere to develop their region, Nigeria will be a better place. So I just want to end today's episode here and say thank you for always listening to us. Don't forget, please, call your friends and family. Tell them something new is happening on the Crystal Queen podcast. Do well to subscribe, share, like, comment, Give us your feedback. Tell us areas where you think we need to improve, and support us in any way you can. Bring us topics you want us to discuss beyond River State, beyond the Niger Delta. We can take on any issue. We can even discuss what is happening in America. You know, Donald Trump and his very good friend Elon Musk seem like they are the ones who are running the show now in the United States of America. And we're looking at cases of people who are being deported for the new immigration laws. Well, whatever it is, we can discuss all that. Thank you very much for joining us, and we hope to see you again in our next episode. Bye.